Welcome back to the Tiny Texan Cooks. Today we're making Gladiator food. Here's a little bit of a history lesson for you. Back in ancient Rome, there was a very small, elite, wealthy class. These people owned all of the property. There was also a tiny, tiny middle class, and this middle class were basically social climbers. They were eligible for marrying the wealthy elite. They were kind of in the middle. And then there was a gigantic lower class, which was known as a slave class. The reason these people were slaves was because they were unable to fend for themselves. That somebody who owned property had to provide them a job. So it's very similar to lower class everywhere. Gladiators fell into this slave class. Often the gladiators were captured during war and forced to be gladiators, but more often than not, people in the slave class would volunteer to be a gladiator because they could fight and also because the rations were a little bit better. And this might also surprise you, is that everybody who was not in the upper class were vegetarians. It was just a cheaper form of food, and only the upper class got to eat meat. So today I'm going to be making similar to what the gladiators ate. The gladiators ate the same thing that the soldiers ate, and that is beans and barley. So wheat and some sort of beans. The beans that they had in ancient Rome were lentils and fava beans. I'm going to be using lentil beans today. And another thing, before salt began being used as a seasoning, people used garum. And garum was... it's still used today. It's on the shelf. It's called fish sauce, but it's basically fermented fish entrails. Something similar to this is Worcester sauce, and that also has fermented anchovies, but I'm not going to be using either one of those because I'm not in Rome, so I'm not doing exactly as the Romans, and I don't like fish sauce. I prefer Japanese curry, so I'm going to be using curry cubes in lieu of garum. But other than that, it's going to be pretty close to what the gladiators ate. Stay tuned. You will need half a cup of lentils, half a cup of barley, 1 cube of Japanese curry, a couple cloves of minced garlic, some chicken bouillon, as well as some kind of frozen greens. I'm using mustard greens. Today I'll be using my 50-year-old crock pot named Roberta.